Eagle Skycam here with you. August 30th, the day after the storm. You can see right here, there's a lot of debris on the windshield of the SUV and also out on the roads. A lot of tree branches down, some trees down. The aftermath of the storm definitely looks like there's going to be a lot of cleanup in this area. From reports, it's a lot worse in New Orleans. A lot of areas are without power in New Orleans. It seems like this residential area that I'm driving through right now was pretty lucky. I noticed there were some lights on inside some of the houses, things like that. A few trees down. Don't see anything really major as far as damage. Just driving around some areas, taking a look, just making sure everything's okay. We're gonna head over and pass by the LSU campus area, just kind of get an assessment of that. Believe it or not, 24 hours later, thereabouts, it's still raining. Still raining out here in the Baton Rouge area, and I'm sure New Orleans is very much similar to that. Let's go up this highway here. It's one of the major highways in Baton Rouge. Again, most of the city is off to the right of this highway on the other side of the tree line there, but this highway connects to the interstate and kind of keeps Baton Rouge going. Also got reports that fuel supplies down. Port Fourchon, major supply port for the state, is also down. Looks like there's going to be some fuel shortages. Cell phone towers also, a lot of cell phone towers are down right now, probably due to power outages more so than the towers actually getting blown down in the Baton Rouge area. Although with the strong winds that came through last night as the brunt of the storm hit the area, as you'll see from previous videos, it's very possible that some towers did go down. So be sure and link up and subscribe and like this video, smash the like button, subscribe, and you can see previous videos as well showing the damaging winds that came through late last night in Baton Rouge. It's hard to see on the video, but there's a broken tree over there. Large branch broke off. Also, if you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the trees are still moving in the breeze. We still got about a 20-mile-an-hour wind passing through. Lots of cloud cover still related to the storm. Now, good thing is it looks like this road is pretty clear. I probably couldn't say the same for Highland Road. Highland Road is a few streets over, and it's a road that's just lined with oak trees. And so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of power outages over there. A lot of down power lines from those trees. As you can see out here, a lot of the power lines are not underground. They're above ground. In that previous neighborhood that I was showing you, they had in-ground power lines, and so that's a big part of why they did not have the same amount of problems as you would have when you have above ground lines that are hit by high winds. These power lines seem to be in good shape. They seem to hold up well in the storm, but I'm sure in areas with lots of tree cover, that's just not the case. Like some large apartments over here. I do see, I don't see any lights on. It's kind of hard to tell. It's early morning, but still daylight, so can't really tell. It does look like the convenience store is up and running, so I'm thinking there's a good chance there's power in this area. Continue on down Nicholson, you can kind of see the bit of the aftermath of the storm. Just road sign kind of pushed down a bit, but overall so far not too bad in this area. We're going to continue on to LSU and let's kind of see how things look. The thing about these storms is the after storm cleanup is often the biggest part, and that can also be a dangerous time because there are some trees that have been loosened, there's branches hanging, people might go out in their yards. Baton Rouge area had a fatality yesterday, late in the evening. A gentleman got killed by a tree that fell in the town of Prairieville, Louisiana, which is a suburb community of Baton Rouge, just to the east of the main city, between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, but a lot closer to Baton Rouge. That was a fire and rescue truck that just passed by. As you can see, it's still raining quite a bit out here. And just these storms are amazing. I mean, they pack a lot of wind, a lot of rain. And sometimes the aftermath of a storm like this can have quite a bit of rain coming in because of the instability in the atmosphere, plus all the tropical moisture that's just left behind from these big storms. Now, these trees are pretty close to the road. The other thing to be aware of, there's a down branch right there, a down tree actually. There's some down trees. As you can see, that one came. It's not quite across the road, but it looks like it was actually cut. And at one time it was across the road, so we've had cleanup crews coming through here already. Now, the other thing that's dangerous and to bear in mind with these storms is that the root system of these trees can get wet. And once the root system gets wet, the tree is no longer as strong as it used to be. So even post-storm, you have to be careful because there could be some danger from trees that have weakened and wet root systems falling over. So just bear that in mind whenever you're doing a post-storm cleanup. If you're ever out here, if you are out here and you're watching this video, be sure to like and subscribe for good tips on how to protect yourself and how to clean up after these type of storms. We can see right here, there's another down tree on the side of the road, and there's one that's really close to the road. I'm thinking probably in the case of that one, the cleanup crew's probably been out and has already cut the part that was hanging out over the road. So with a major thoroughfare like this, you can definitely expect that the city and local government is going to be out cleaning things up and keeping things going. But on the smaller streets, it's going to be a while before you get lights and power, and even before your streets get cleared out and you can actually drive out of your area. There's going to be many neighborhoods that have a lot of trees where people are going to be stuck in those areas. And where the danger comes in with that is, if they should need emergency services, it's going to be a lot harder for EMS to get there. So it's important to try to keep those areas as clear as possible to make room, and hopefully help your neighbors, help them clear out, clean up as soon as they can. See, now we're getting close to the LSU area. A lot of trees in the LSU area, so it's probably going to be a totally different world. There's a tree down between those buildings, hard to see on this camera, but I think we're going to see a lot more down trees as we get closer to LSU. A lot of oak trees. Very proud of those oak trees in the area. People love them. They're really nice trees, God bless them, but in big storms like this, those trees are not an asset. In fact, those trees can really be a liability. While on one hand they do block the wind, when their branches break, you're talking about branches that could weigh as much as several cars coming down on your house. I mean, so that's the thing to bear in mind. Not only that, it's just very dangerous just to even walk in your yard when you've got branches like that. Let's see here, we don't have a lot of traffic, but I see some people driving. Looks like they're going out to take care of business or possibly look and inspect their property with storm damage. Let's go ahead and we're going to make a right turn up ahead and start going towards the LSU area. Well, lots of trees in that area. We'll kind of see what's going on. Like I said earlier, with these storms, the after storm cleanup is a really big deal, and that's a brunt of the amount of work that has to be done. When the storm comes, it passes, it goes. This was about a 24-hour period of storming, but now now the cleanup process is going to begin, and that's going to be a lot of work. Your utility crews over there in the distance, hard to see their trucks, but they're still parked there, and so I'm sure they're having meetings, getting ready for staging and all the things they have to do to bring power back to a lot of parts of Baton Rouge. Also, reports say that New Orleans is almost totally without power. In fact, reports last night placed it at 100%, with no guarantee of when power is going to come back. Reports from Jefferson Parish, which if you're in another part of the country, a parish is what we call counties. That's what they call counties in Louisiana. And so Jefferson Parish / Jefferson County is reported to be without power, and they're saying it's going to be 6 to 9 weeks before power can be restored. You can see right there, the red light is actually flashing. It's not actually functional right now. And I'm sure we're going to see some down red lights as we get closer to these areas that have a lot of trees. We're starting to see a lot more debris now on the ground as we get closer to this area. This area has got a lot of oak trees. It's got a lot of vegetation, a lot of shade trees. People really love those trees in the summer because Louisiana is a pretty sunny, hot place. But as we drive through these tree-ridden areas, I'm sure we're going to see why. There's the LSU campus over there, just the south gates of the campus. As we drive through them, I'm sure we're going to see why trees can sometimes not be a blessing. We can see right there, there's some tree damage. It's a down tree in that lawn, in that yard. Just driving through here. Lots of tree debris on the ground. Neighbors already trying to clean up. But you can see the difference when you're driving through an area that's pretty much covered in trees. A lot of branches overhanging the road. Thank goodness, it seems like they held up. But you can see by the size of those branches, if one of those came down, it would be devastating, and it would, of course, block this intersection completely. I see a tree and yard sign over there in the distance. Some enterprising person who is offering his service to clear trees, and I think definitely his service is going to be something that's needed in this area. Okay, we're continuing to drive through. This is a neighborhood right around LSU. We can see a branch on the road. Doesn't look like much, but imagine if your car was parked there. The insurance claim that result from that, there's going to be an insurance claim. It's going to be property damage just from trees falling on cars, let alone the wind, let alone the rain, let alone the flooding. Just so many different factors with a storm like this. There's some big branches. They seem pretty stable. Look at that. That's a tree that was already removed. Possibly somebody thinking the same thing and being proactive. A lot of debris on the ground. Small car would not have a good time driving through this. This SUV is sitting pretty tall. Volvo XC90. It's made for this kind of stuff. Look at that. That's a hanging branch right there. And bigger branches like that are the thing to look out for whenever you're working in your yard. You always want to be looking up. Like I'm driving through here right now, but the whole time I'm also looking up at those trees. I'm making sure there's no branches that are hanging down, making sure there's no branches that are on the verge of falling. As you can see, we got neighbors walking around here trying to clean up. This is what happens when you live in an area with a lot of trees. It's very beautiful, but at the same time, these trees can be dangerous. They can also cause property damage when you have storms with high winds like we had yesterday with Hurricane Ida, historically passing on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. That's just an amazing thing when you think about how history repeated itself yesterday, how we had a failed levee in the New Orleans area yesterday on the 16-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. That's just amazing. Okay, let's get out of this treat area. We're right around the LSU campus, and that's the LSU lake right there. So the lake's clear. Doesn't look like it has any high water. Doesn't look like it really flooded out there, which is nice. And things seem to be somewhat under control. Let's see here. Looking over. Right. Not a lot of flooding. The bayou hasn't really exceeded its banks. For Baton Rouge, had a lot of wind, but it seemed also like not as much rain as I'm sure New Orleans felt on the eastern side of the storm. Let's turn in for a second. Check out this area. As I said, the winds are very strong when you have an open area like this big lake right next to us. So it came in pretty fast, and you can see it shredded the trees and just strewn pieces of tree, pine tree, cypress tree all over this parking lot here. And that's just what you get when you got really high winds. Well, that's a quick look at the aftermath of the storm in some of the areas of Baton Rouge that don't have as many trees, overlooking the LSU campus right now. And be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. The aftermath of Hurricane Ida, we're going to be showing more of the cleanup as the day progresses. Be sure to like and subscribe, smash that like button. Charles with ArielSkycam.com. Talk to you soon.